I'm getting good at this, like timing it out. I'm so
Yes, that was really nice. I was like, "Oh, I'm impressed. It's fancy. I like it."
she getting fancy. It gets better with time, right? So, another tribe talking on a Tuesday with Maryam. And today I have Evolve Benton on this joint. I'm kind of
Yes, in the
pumped.
building. I'm
In the
pumped too. Thank you for the
yeah,
invite. This is hella dope space. I'm proud of you for putting this
yeah,
together.
yeah. I've been following you. You know what I'm saying? Like I just like I said on Instagram, um, it was like I don't know what it was. I think you had posted something, and at the time I was like, "Oh, I think I could do that," but it wasn't. We weren't doing the same thing, so it didn't end up working together. But we stayed, in contact with or
Yes.
connected. I called you like my virtual cousin. I was like, "Yeah, it feels like I see
Yes.
you get, everything that's going on, getting preparing for the wedding and the business is growing, and I'm just like, I'm so
Thank
excited for
you.
you. Like every step of the way, I'm so pumped for you.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
we start every show the same way. I ask that you give us a 30-second commercial, who you are, where you are, what you want us to know about you, kind of like your walk in the room introduction. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Definitely. So, folks, I'm Evolve Benton, the Speaking for Profit coach. I'm a speaker, educator, and poet, and I help people get paid to speak. I want folks to work with me who want to impact the world and change the world. We are here planting seeds with our voices, and I'm a true believer in that. So, that's who I am.
Boom. I'm telling the folks because they come and go. Like I never know what's going to happen. It can be, oh, we got a heart. Hey,
Yeah.
um, I like to say, make yourself known. Who are you in the chat? So we're gonna start easy. I feel this is easy. Um, you started or you were working in DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Still am. Still
Still,
there.
you're still there.
Yep.
Oh, I thought you segued all the way out.
No, I'm still there. I'm trying to buy a house. So that's my
Ah,
strategy. Hold my W-2
brilliant.
until I get them keys. And then when I get them keys, we'll see, right? Because my boss might be watching. I'm sticking around as long as I can.
Yeah, I mean, well, you
No,
can't
it's
keep
all
excellence
good.
forever. Dear boss, you can't keep excellence forever. You should always have, like
Yes.
give them space to
Yes.
grow. That's a good boss. A good boss would give you space to grow. So,
Exactly.
okay, so then so tell us what you do. So you are a facilitator in an academic space, and then also you are training facilitators in your entrepreneurial space. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. So I work currently in higher education at a medical school, and I do diversity, equity, inclusion work there, mostly supporting with the retention of Black and Brown students who want to become physicians. And it's
Mm,
super powerful to do this work, to be honest with you, because my mom was a nurse,
mm.
and I always want to do something in medicine. But I'm wigged out on blood. Like I like scary movies, but the gory stuff, I'm the person in the corner, my eyes like this, trying to kind of peek, but I don't really want to see it.
I
It's it's just too
don't
much
play
for
with
me.
scary movies.
Too
You
much for me.
you're good for even trying. I do not play with scary movies.
So my mom used to always tell me, you're going to be in a hospital one day. And I
Mm,
used to be like, I'm not going to be able to do that. That's just not me. So to be around physicians every day, that's why I always tell people I love my 9 to 5, right? I love
yeah,
it, but it's not my calling anymore. And I think
right, right.
that when it comes to DEI work, I see so many people stay in it too long and burn themselves out. And we have to
Mm,
create the pipelines to, be able to provide space for young people to get into work as well. So I consider when I exit an opportunity for another person to enter in that realm. And I'm so thankful that I know a lot of those people because I work with facilitators, speakers, and trainers on being
yeah,
able to build out their businesses, in a very profitable but a sustainable way because I don't want them to burn out. And
right.
I've seen it happen in the industry.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I work with a DEI organization now, and yeah, that's a constant conversation. How to stay well, right?
Right, right. Because
How
if
to
you're
stay
not
well.
well, the work ain't well, right? We
Right,
see
right,
people
right.
doing it in very toxic ways, and I always say it's because they're not, coming from that overflowing cup. When we come from scarcity,
Yeah.
That's when we create the most harm. So
But
yeah.
I also think, there's like a line, right? Like, yes, you need self-care, and yes, it's your job to take care of yourself and to think of yourself in these ways. But also, it's okay to recognize when there is a lot in front of you, and
Mm-hmm.
where, like, it's not your fault that you're tired or that you're stressed out, or I was having a conversation with someone about this the other day. Like, it's not your fault that you're overworked in this moment, because it's a lot of work happening in this moment, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to be okay in those times too, and not feel like you're not loving yourself enough.
Exactly. Right. Right. Like
There's
owning the
always,
moment. I
yeah,
love that. Like owning all of it.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Owning the moment of I didn't put that on my calendar to take care of myself and I'm gonna do better, right? And also
yeah,
owning
yeah.
owning the moment of like what is self-care and then not having to be something that's so external or extravagant
Mhm.
or that breaks the bank. A lot of it for me has been around boundaries and simply saying no.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that, right?
yeah.
Or no, I'm not doing that again. And I think that takes a lot of agency, but it's super important.
Yeah, I was telling, we had Misha on here last week, and we talked about this a little bit. And I was saying, for me, I had to learn how to say yes. I used to say no all the time to everything. Like, I was a good,
Mm,
I'm real, because at work, I mean, when I'm in work or in my professional space, there's always yes. So, like, outside of that, it was like quick no's. But I had
mm,
to start learning how to say yes to this yes to this space, yes to this, whatever this next thing is, yes, 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 yes to this mistake, whatever, to create space for me to actually understand when I was not in balance. That makes
mm.
sense.
Yeah, totally does, right?
You feel that?
It's the no's and yeses that make our life.
Ooh, all of it. Okay. Okay, you spoke a word. I think that was a word. That was a word. So,
Yes.
so tell me, okay, you're in this space, but you've decided, okay, speaking for profit, that's
Mhm.
your joint.
Mhm. It's my jam.
That's your jam. That's your jam. So, like, what? Like, I know you said because you were doing this anyway full time, might as well make more money from it. But, like, now you're doing it double time. How are you sustaining that?
Yeah, you know what? I have an amazing team, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this alone. I am the Speaking for Profit coach, but Speaking for Profit, we have a wellness coach, we have accountability coach, we have folks who come in and do workshops about finances, social media, right? So I'm really
Yeah.
trying to build an incubator where my community and the folks I know who do amazing work, which we'll be reaching out to you very soon, right, can come and share with one another because we
Yeah.
have so many why we know that more, right?
Yeah.
So my team is amazing. That's one. And this was a COVID
Shout out
business,
to
to
the
be honest.
team.
Shout out to the team. Yeah. Speaking for profit. Shout out to Bobby. Shout out to Mary, my VA. Shout out to our wellness coach, Coach Key. But this was a COVID business, y'all. Like
Yeah.
I seen hella people struggling financially last year. And I was like, y'all could be making money speaking. And I didn't understand why people weren't going out for these remote opportunities. A lot of people weren't prepared. A lot of people were just saying, I can't do it. And I was like, yes, you can. So I started helping the homies. And then the homies started getting gigs. And I was like, yo, I can help other people too. And we all
Yeah.
can get paid. Why not do
Yeah.
this? So it really came from that act of service that, like I said, I learned from my mother, a
Mhm.
nurse, my grandmother, a caregiver, and other Black women in my
Yeah.
life to like figure out how do we pick up the pieces when the damn government ain't even got time for us and talk about
Listen,
sending us $600 in 6 months.
stop playing with me. Look, look, look. Kyle says, teamwork makes the dream work all day, babe. But yeah, listen, well, two things to what you just said. One, people are terrified of public speaking.
Hmm.
Public speaking puts folks to their knees. I mean, I've watched, like, some of the most confident, in my opinion, confident and, like, bodaciously, like, just amazing people literally shake and quiver at the thought of, like, speaking in front of people. And it's work getting them out of that. I mean, I know I did that for what, 4 or 5 years, just helping people get past the anxiety of speaking in public. So yeah, I can imagine that you're getting a lot of "I can't do that."
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's not even really the speaking, to be honest with you. I get a
oh, it's
lot of people
not.
that like to talk a lot. That's
Oh,
a lot of
okay.
people that come to me. Sometimes I so much I gotta be like, slow down, wait a
Oh,
minute. Let's
chill.
really talk about what the problem is.
Yeah.
But they don't want to charge, right? That's what I always
Mm.
hear. Yeah, I got a message. God told me. My mama told me I could speak. This person told me I could speak, but I don't feel comfortable charging people for that, right? I don't feel comfortable. That's the main thing that I hear. And I don't know where we got $500 from, but everyone comes to me and tells me that that's their price. And I'm just like, I don't know where we got this from, but this is not the price.
You know where they got that from? They got that from. This is gonna sound. I'm not talking bad about church, but that's where they got that from. Because you know
Mhm.
they like that's normally a lot of people start in their community, right? So
Mhm.
like the church, the dining, the hall or whatever, like the place that's closest to them will have them come and speak, and that's like their first experience. Just like most people, that's their first experience with anything, right?
Mhm.
Um, and they don't pay you, or they don't pay you a lot,
Yeah.
and that becomes kind of like the standard, like, oh, it's 500, but I was getting nothing.
Right.
But that's not how I tell people all the time. What you should do, it's an easy formula. It's take the amount of money you want to make in a year, divide that by 52, and then divide that by the amount of hours you're willing to work in a week. And that's how much money you should charge an hour.
Mhm.
And if you can take that and turn it, like, say, for instance, your speaking engagements, if you only want to do 3 speaking engagements a week or 2, that's only 6 hours. You got to figure out what's that number. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, but I can see that would be a thing. So when you meet people, what's the first thing you say to them when it comes to them saying they can't charge more?
I ask them why. Right.
Really? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because they've never asked themselves why. So oftentimes I'll get a pause and an excuse, right? Because I ain't supposed
Give me
to.
some of the excuses.
They not gonna believe in me. Why would they pay me? Why am I special? Right? A lot of that demeaning stuff. A lot of that
I wasn't
imposter
hoping.
syndrome. Imposter syndrome. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't like that. I don't like that.
Not good at all. So then I got to pump them up, right? Because before then, I've already asked you, what do you want to speak about? And I'm like, well, what if this is really a topic that's going to change someone's life? Is
Yeah.
it worth you hiding behind that? Or is it worth
Yeah.
us moving this forward, right? Because it's not just about the money. The money is exciting. It's the icing on the cake, I always say. But it's
Yeah.
really about the impact that you're going to make. And
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
doesn't hear that. I mean, there's so many, even the conversation I had with you a few years ago, it changed my mind on how I thought about things. Conversations move things forward in our lives. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to be a vessel of that, stepping into that is super important. And I think once you build the confidence that you know you change people's lives, it becomes
Mm-hmm.
easier to charge as well. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially, you almost made me cuss. I've been trying not to cuss. I was like, I was about to say, I'm saying what the fuck this motherfucker did the other day.
Well, you done did it now. Now you got to tell me.
But it's like that, because what happens, and I'm saying this to all y'all, and tell me, I mean, the people keep coming and going, but tell me if you understand this, who's in here. But I've noticed, and not all the time. I don't want to talk bad about everybody all the time. But when I don't charge, those people that are not paying me
Are the
will
worst.
wear me the fuck. Will rip me apart. I mean, give me the most work to do,
Mhm.
and the story is always so heart wrenching that it's like you got to go through the process of not of is it okay to tell this person who's in such need, because who knows, no, I can't do this for you like this in this way. You're starving my family,
Mm. Which
you
is the
know.
real. Which is the real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that because that's for. I know you have backup. I don't have backup yet. Yeah, you know what I mean. This the only thing that comes in here comes from my company. So
Mm-hmm.
when you want to take 30 hours of my week and give me $100.
What are you gonna do with that? You can't even get gas with that.
Yeah, so listen to Evolve. Evolve is saying pay. Like, I mean, not pay. I'm saying pay. Evolve saying to require,
Mm-hmm.
require, set requirements, earn your keep.
Yeah,
So
and know
how do
your
you
low.
determine? Yeah, how do you determine for each of your clients what they should be charging? Is that like a specific finite process, or does it go by the person?
You know what? I think it's really custom because everyone has a different offer, right? In business, right? So
Mhm.
I got this pen right here, and if I
Mhm.
put some Gucci on it, I probably could sell it for a couple of thousand, right?
Mhm.
Take the Gucci print off, it's gonna sell for $5, right?
Mhm.
So they're talking to different industries, and we
Mhm.
know that certain industries got money. We know that certain industries ain't got that much
Right.
money,
Right.
right? We
Right. Right.
already know that. So it depends on their goals. It depends on their social proof, right? Which I think is why it's important that we continue to create content ourselves, have spaces like this to go live, right, with you
Mhm.
and talk about our businesses because more people that see you speak, the more that know you build your audience, right? And we already know it's about popularity. So even though you and I probably got amazing things to talk about,
Yeah.
Lena Waithe probably will get a bigger bag than us to come and show up because she's produced so much social proof, right? So it's
Yeah.
individual, but we do have a bottom line. And one of my requirements, actually moving into 2022, this year it was 1,500, but now I'm telling folks 2,500. I don't really want my clients to go below that because
Mhm.
I feel like they over deliver. They put so much into their work. And we also have to bring the standard up of the industry on how much they're going to pay underrepresented speakers and trainers. And if
Yeah.
we don't do it and don't demand it, then everyone who's asking for $400, $500, they're bringing
That's all
down the
you get.
quality of it, right? So we have
Yeah.
to kind of create that baseline.
You have to maintain the integrity of the industry, especially for Black and Brown folks and other marginalized folks. You can't. Um, Maryam, you're the one who told me to charge because schools have money. I did tell you that. I meant that too,
Yep,
because they
exactly.
do. But
Schools have money, y'all. Healthcare, right?
yeah,
We're still going through a healthcare crisis.
Mhm.
When you think about schools, medical schools, professional schools especially have money. Technology has money, right?
Yeah,
Athletics has a lot of money. But it's not really just necessarily aligning with the money. Like, I think that's important,
but
but what do you want to talk to and
yeah, you can't build.
what industry you want to impact? Like,
Yeah, you don't. It's the same thing. Like I get a lot. Yes, Apple rarely, if ever, goes on sale. Can you see
yeah.
the comments?
Yeah, I can see them now. I just clicked the thing. I see them coming through. Y'all so funny.
Oh, that's real though.
Yep.
But I think I agree. Yeah, you can't align with the money, but it's the same thing like when people contact you for grants, like they'll say, "Hey, I think I found this grant. I'm gonna design a project to fit the grant instead of having the project already and then finding the grant that fits it." So I think what Evolve is saying is like you gotta, before you can even deal with her, you gotta know what you talk. I mean, excuse me, before you can even deal with them, you gotta know what your bag is, right? Am I
Yeah,
mistaken?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Okay.
gotta know your offer. At least know the problem that you're solving, right?
Yeah.
What problem do you want to solve for that industry? What change are you trying to create? What space are you trying to create, right? Because then you're speaking their language. We are problem solvers as business
Yeah.
owners. And when you come to the conversation, you might have an offer in the bag that you can give them, or it might just come in that moment. There's so many conversations I'm on consult calls with organizations, and I
Yeah.
don't have it necessarily created, but I know I can. So I'll
Right.
bring it up and talk to them through the process of what I want to create. And then that's extra for me. I always say that because I'm gonna add a little curation and customization
A
price
little,
to there
little
as well.
12% incidentals. Yeah.
Exactly. But
Hmm.
it's also an offer I have now that I can use again, right? I call it my Beyonce method, right? Beyonce put out Lemonade, all these top albums. She go to France, she go to LA, she come to New Orleans, we get the same show. And we need
Hmm.
to learn to do the same thing as well. If we have an offer that really works, a training, something that we really develop, why do we think we only can do it one time? And then we got to create something brand new for the next group.
Right.
If it works really well, utilize it, shop it around. And like you said, get in your bag that way.
And I feel like that goes in, that also supports when you start to brand yourself and market for yourself. Like I see a lot of people that are like, whatever somebody else did that was cute, they'll copy it and it'll become their thing. And so there's no like consistency. So there's also like a thing of like, you want to be able to identify your voice from other people, from anybody else that's out there. Am I speaking correctly? Like I think I'm saying this right. Like you want to stand out because you are consistent, not because you are varied.
I say.
You
Call
know,
that one in. Right? Because if you're just jumping on all of the bandwagons,
yeah,
right? Like no one really knows who you are. And consistency is just it's so important, which is in our program we use a framework called the 531, right? And I'm giving y'all a little bit of pro tip here, right? This is a little knowledge base. So for
and their Cash App is
right? Y'all, this is free game. This is free game of love.
well, I'm gonna
No
still
worries
tag it
about it.
later.
Yes, tag it later. But 531, right? So
Mhm.
putting together 5 pieces of amazing content that's about you throughout the week so people can consistently see you. 3 opportunities to be in conversation with people about your business. Because if you're not talking about speaking, training, or development, you're not in business. If you're not on
Right.
a consult call, on a discovery call, you're not doing it, right? To move those conversations forward. And the way we do that is through LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So
Yeah.
I'm sending messages, I'm getting on calls with people, and being on at least 1 or 2 calls a week, right? If you
Mm.
not talking, you ain't really doing it for it. So
Right. Right.
531, 5 pieces of amazing content, 3 messaging sessions where you're reaching out, following up with people, and being on 1 call. If you're doing that, then you're moving the business forward. And that's standards, right? For y'all. So standards means bare minimum. Then we can go into goals, right? Maybe your goals is then you want to do 10 pieces of content,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Or you want to get into 6 different conversations, or you want to be on 3 calls. But if we don't have standards for our business to know the key performance indicators and where it's going, we're never going to be able to see the growth of it.
That's so funny because I use 531 as my to do my planner. So 5 small tasks, 3 medium tasks, 1 big task. You know.
Nice. I got it from my boss. Shouts out to my boss. They did a
Yeah,
531 when I first got to my job,
that's
and I was like,
dope.
okay, I'm gonna do that.
So 531, I feel like is kind of those are the numbers. You can work that. You can work that in many ways. You can add
Definitely.
that. As a matter of fact, the 5 pieces of contact could be your small work.
Right.
The messaging would be medium level work, and then the console call because you're gonna convert that into a sale or you're gonna convert that into a contract. That's your big deal one.
We in there. Hey. Y'all seen that? We in our bag.
I
That
don't
means
know if
we in
you
our
saw that, but we
bag.
worked that thing out.
Oh, I love it.
I
I love
love
it.
it. Me
I
too.
gotta get down to New Orleans so we can get live and have some
Man, please,
crawfish
'cause
and
you
some
went to school
daiquiris
here,
together.
right? Then you're gonna do it.
Yeah. Shouts out to all my HBCU alums. Went to Dillon University.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Shoot,
been
you
a
might need to
while.
come show me around.
So much has changed since then, right? Like I was like a part of the group that was there for Hurricane Katrina. So I was there
Oh,
before Katrina and after. So the city, it's just so different now. I went back a couple of years ago and I was like, this wasn't here, that wasn't there. So I mean, so much has changed, but I'm sure I could show you some of the good old hood spots. Some of the hood spots still
look, yeah, you know the hood spots are
there.
there. They came back. They came back. Okay. Yeah, I love it down here.
hmm
I would love to come. I haven't been to the Bay in like 10 years,
You
12
should come.
years. And when
I'll
I
show you
came,
a
it
good
was
time
mad
here too.
corny. It was like the only reason we came was to like do like tours and stuff. It was like,
Yeah.
when it's corny.
Yep, exactly. But more of a
Do you
tourist vibe.
do you use your poetry when you are speaking?
I sure do. All the time.
I
Yes,
was
I
hoping
do.
you were gonna say yes.
Yes, of
I find
course.
Yeah, I find some poets don't spit. Like they'll get speaking engagements and they won't spit. I wonder why. Do you know why that is?
Um, they're scared.
Mhm.
That's probably what it is. Fear of meshing things, right? Like,
Yeah.
am I gonna seem not professional if I do a poem? And this changed for me. This is a true story. I
Mhm.
was at a job interview, and this was
Mhm.
for my job at UCLA. I was working
Mhm.
as assistant director LGBT Center. I spit a poem for my actual interview. And
Oh no.
that's why I got the job, right? Because it was different. No
Yeah.
one else did it. And it was actually a poem about like creating more space for LGBT students on a college
Yeah.
campus in my own experience. So it worked for me there. So now I'm like, I'm doing a poem everywhere. And I love it because I can bring my book, I can bring my
Mhm.
merch. And people can, support that way as well. That's definitely a tip I would give a lot of people is have another way for people to work with you if you're going out to speak, because when you go into the organizations, the people who are in the audience aren't the people who paid you, right?
Yeah.
People who paid you, the people up in the office, they might be coming down to see you a little bit, but the people in the audience, they haven't paid you yet. So that's free game, right? They want a book,
Mhm.
they want some way to be connected to you. And I love merchandise because it lives within the environment.
Yeah.
So 2-3 years from now, my book is sitting somewhere, my shirt is on someone, and
I've got
people
your
go
book.
back to it. Yes,
I need your book.
holla!
Yes,
Yes!
sir.
Let me find it. Let me find
It's
it
in
so I
my
can bring it up.
bookcase.
Yes, right?
Yeah. I got it.
But
Ooh, you know what I just thought about? I'm helping to find talent for a festival in Johannesburg in April. They need poets.
oh, hit your boy up. I ain't been to Motherland yet.
You
I'm ready.
haven't?
I have not. I'm ready though. I've been dreaming of it. I'm ready. You're like
Oh,
the second or third person that's talked to me about this, so it's happening. I know it's happening next year.
yeah,
I know it's
yeah,
happening next year.
yeah.
So let's talk. Let's talk offline.
I can
That
put
sounds
you
dope.
on. I can put you on. I'm excited. I
Yeah.
just thought about it, so I had to say it out loud. But you know what? Saying it on this video gives me like accountability. Like you said it on the video. People gonna see you said that.
Run back to
So
that episode.
right, run back, right. You know, like I gotta go back. And I dropped the ball on like a couple videos. I said I'll come back and I'll post it in the thing. And I got an inbox like you did not do the thing like you said you were gonna do. Like,
Right?
dang,
People hold
integrity.
you accountable. That's the
Yeah,
great
yeah.
thing about doing it though. Like you need that.
Look, getting me here every Tuesday is
Right?
the other day I was like, I don't got enough liquor in my cup.
Mm,
It was a rough, these, and I'm gonna toss this back to you after I say it. Like sometimes it's just these days are long,
they are. Mhm.
especially when you have your hands in so many different pots and you're trying to maintain your social space and you're trying to maintain your health and wellness and then also earn and grow and expand. Like, I have been seeking like refuge. I've found it. I've created refuge for myself, but I've been seeking it. So I would love to toss back to you. Like I know I kind of asked you earlier, but and you said boundaries. But I know that even outside of creating boundaries, there's like not everything has to do with somebody else,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So what is it that while you are trying to figure this out and you're going through these things and you're having to get yourself ready to go through these messages, doing or supporting the people through the messages and getting on these consult calls and also going to work and also planning a wedding and also doing this, like, you know what I mean? Like your life, right? Your life. Like
Mhm.
how are you, the things that are just yours, how are you managing that?
This is a great question, you know.
Mhm.
Um, One thing that I decided to do for the next month is get out and walk. I find myself
Mhm.
really needing to be in movement when my mind
Mhm.
gets too cluttered, which it feels that way when there's so much going on. And I think you mentioned it earlier, right? These moments are very momentarily, right? Like they're not
Mhm.
happening all the time.
Yeah.
I'm really busy right now. So I keep
Mhm.
telling myself in 3 weeks you won't be as busy and you can breathe and you'll be on a plane on the way to the Dominican Republic with the love of your life, right? So you'll be in a good space, you'll be fine. But walks, time with
Mhm.
spirit is extremely important for me. So, and I've been
Mhm.
called to the mat to pray. So I'm
Mhm.
getting up and I'm praying. I got my
Mhm.
gratitude I try to do every day. But I think one thing I'm working on that I want to do more in 2022 is really call out when I just don't feel good and I don't feel
Mhm.
like it and lay in the bed and be lazy all day and not answer anyone, and have more time for that. So that's something I'm calling in for myself. Like I keep calling 2022 scale 2022. And I think people think that means more work, but that actually means less work for me,
Mhm.
and more time with myself and with
Mhm.
spirit and on those walks. I love getting out in nature. I was sad. It rained for 2 hours here, y'all. I mean, 2 days here, 2 days. And it never really rains in California. I want y'all to know. That's why
Oh,
we
okay,
have
so
so
that's
many
the difference. Okay.
we,
Oh,
we have
it
so many
never
fires.
rains but
Yep, exactly. Hey, y'all know that jam. Y'all know that jam.
yes.
So it never
I was gonna
rains.
say, I know you're not talking about rain because you remember it was raining here for 3 weeks straight. I was so sad. I was so sad. I
It's
was like, this isn't
depressing.
for me. I'm gonna move. I hate it. Everybody was like, Carl, are you
It's
okay?
depressing. The
I'm
rain can be really
not.
depressing. It's hard. So I just, yeah,
I just
I have
couldn't
to move
believe
out of
it.
it. New Orleans rain is a whole nother, that's a whole nother level of rain though. I never experienced that. When I was living there, I didn't get it. I didn't come with an umbrella. I didn't come with nothing. I just came to college campus. I'm ready to go. One day I'm in class. Get out of the class, it's pouring, literally halfway back to the dormitory. Like, it's just, it'll start raining, and then it's raining, like you said, for days. It's not
For
even like
days.
a week or two, right?
And not like light, misty rain, like hard, mean, I am raining on your shit rain. Like, it's rough.
Yeah.
Did you know these lizards could jump?
I did. And they got them flying bugs, too.
And they big. They so big. Let me tell you the first time. We're getting off topic, but let me tell you the first time I saw one of them bugs in my house. I could have felt like, when I say like, it was so
they bad.
And everybody was like, "Oh, only one."
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, it's a coastal city. You're gonna have them. They're just gonna come and blah blah blah. It's fine. You just don't want the little ones. The big ones are fine. The big ones are fine." Y'all, wow. I don't know. I don't know. I found myself loving Jamaica and the grill, and I just feel like I'm just gonna keep going there as much as possible.
That sounds good. I mean, not as many bugs.
No, I think because I wasn't looking for the bugs, I didn't see the bugs. But now that you brought it up, of course, I'm sure there's tons of bugs.
It's
Can
just
somebody type how you gonna ruin that for her in the chat? Thank you. You couldn't let her have that. Write that in the chat. You couldn't let her have that. Damn.
It's just, it's a part of being in the swamp that I think we don't think about. Like, New Orleans is it's a swampy city. But yeah, the bugs.
No, it's gross.
I'm not ready for that. We've definitely talked about as a family potentially maybe moving back south, and that's one of the things that I constantly think about is the bugs and how much I'm gonna be eaten up, and how, like, what can I create? Can I create a new bug system?
But no, like, even the stuff I used to use in DC that I used to make for myself, the little bug spray, they eat it here. They're like asking for the cup. They want to drink it. Like, these bugs are disgusting. Whatever. I hate it. I don't hate it here. I'm just saying, y'all know what y'all got.
And y'all need to put that on y'all websites.
And y'all need to tell us.
Right?
Look, after I saw that bug, I Googled it, and it was like, New Orleans is the roach capital of the country. Did you know that that's a thing? There's a roach capital, and I live in it. And I live in it.
So all the things to be popular for New Orleans. Shout out to all the homies from New Orleans.
Right, shout out to everybody in New
Orleans. Baby. But y'all got some bugs.
And they big. Okay, moving on. So this is where I like to dig in. Like, I feel like this, one of the things I love about being able to have these conversations is, one, I get to reconnect with people. Yes, Ozzy, roaches, the biggest roaches too. Ever. Baseball. I remember one time I was in fourth grade, and we went to like a park, and they had like African hissing cockroaches, and they were big. That's the only thing I've ever seen bigger. And I only remember that because this boy, Anthony Torrance, tried to put one on me, and I'm still mad.
Anthony?
Still mad.
Don't come with the roaches, Anthony.
Tell Big Ant. I'm still mad. Somebody in the chat know him. Hold on. Okay, so I want to ask you some questions about yourself.
Cool.
To me, like, when I write them, they're super deep, and then when I say them out loud, they're not nearly as deep as they were when I wrote them. So do me a favor and just try to make it sound prolific. Like, these questions are like amazing.
Sound real deep.
Give me like, ooh, okay, I could do that. All right. First question. If you could go back in time to your 15-year-old self, what advice would you give your 15-year-old self?
That's such a good question. Let me think a little bit.
She understood the assignment. They understood the assignment.
You seen that? Did you see it? I gave you a little hand fold. And
Go ahead. I felt it.
that's my therapist background,
Look,
y'all. That's my therapist background. 15. Okay, 15. That's high school.
thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay says it's a great question. Just want to put that
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, shout out to Lindsay.
Y'all can tell us what y'all would tell your 15-year-old self too.
Yeah, tap in, y'all. We want to hear it. I would tell myself, don't stop playing basketball.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. That was be the message I would leave to myself. So I played basketball in high school. My dad had a thing with the coach, didn't like the new coach we got, and I ended up not playing my senior year. And for me, now that I see where women's basketball is, I would have loved to be able to be a part of that now, right? And I think that that's one of the things that really shifted a lot of things in high school for me, not being able to be a part of the team. And I feel like I had more agency to push back on that, but I just didn't do it because I was kind of scared, right? So I would tell myself to not be afraid of my own dreams because of other people's doubts, right? So, yep.
So you were good. I wasn't good.
I feel like I was good. And I feel like I was good, but I also
You
feel
could have
like
gotten better.
I could have gotten better. I could have got a free ride to college, which means I wouldn't have student debt, which means I probably might have a house right now and be in a better financial place. So it's just all kind of, to me.
But then you also wouldn't be having the impact that you have right now, training people on how to find their voice. So
this is true. Or maybe I would have found myself there anyways. You know, you never know.
maybe. I mean, I feel like the Most High got you here.
Right.
I feel like you know what I'm saying? I don't know your struggle. I don't know the whole journey, but I'm looking at you now. You know what I'm saying? Looking at you. You here now. You have arrived. You're arriving. You know, I say we're arriving. We got a lot left in us. A lot left in us.
We sure do. We sure do. And the other thing I would tell myself, to be honest, at 15 is probably like, date as many people as you want. Do your thing. Right. I felt like high school was such an angsty time where it was like everything you do is going to be a mistake. And it's like, it's really not. You're not even going to remember half of this or half of these people. So have fun while you can. You know, I was in a relationship. Yeah, I need all that.
I might have to tell myself to go sit down somewhere.
So we was on the opposite end. Right. We need to talk to each other at that time.
Right. Yeah.
Talk to each other.
No. Not that. No, leave that one alone. Stop.
I love it.
Right.
Leave that one.
Leave that. Cut it out. You don't need none of that. Is my mom on here? Yeah. I'm damn near 40 no more. Let me see watch my mouth. Okay. What is your definition? This is a good question. Because you be getting to the money. What is the definition of being wealthy and why?
I think it's personal. One, I'll say that. You got a bunch of gurus that'll tell you it's about your net worth being so big and all of that, but you could have all of that and still not feel wealthy or healthy inside. Yeah. So for me, it's about freedom and access. That's what I'll say. The freedom to do and go as I want, to where I want, and access to getting there quicker or getting there with more comfort or more luxury, or like I told you, laying in the bed and staring at the ceiling, right? Yeah. I think that's wealth. That's true wealth, because you know you have the financial backing to be able to support whatever lifestyle you want to live.
That makes me think of something. This is the Dr. Faith Karras. We were talking Friday, and she was explaining to me what she thinks the definition of freedom. No, it wasn't Faith. It was Allison Swift, also Friday, Dr. Allison Swift. And she was telling me freedom is when all of your basic necessities are met. So you have the space to dream and move. So it's like you don't have to worry about food, clothes, housing, gas for your car. You don't have to think about any of those things. They're already done. It's already taken care of. So you have the space to move and to be and to think and to imagine the next thing you want to do, as big or as outlandish as it is, as you want it to be, because you don't have any worries about basic necessities. And that almost sounds like what you were just saying. Like, to me, I could say that's freedom and that's wealth.
It is. It definitely is, right? And being
Yeah.
able, shouts out y'all to my dogs. You probably hear them in the background. Ashby and Marley, they're amazing individuals. But what I'll say is, for me, that really shifted when I started to do a lot of work around money, because
Mm-hmm.
I was making money, but I wasn't feeling better. And I thought that that was the
Mm-hmm.
problem. And then I had to realize, like, okay, you have the money. Now you need to create the environment to support this new version of yourself so that you can actually feel good. Because now you don't have the
Yeah.
stresses more, right? Because I was making more, but then I was still having the same stresses as when I was making $8.25 at Dillard,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my mind hadn't changed. And like you said, I hadn't given myself space for that. The other example I'll give you is my partner recently left their 9 to 5, right? Moved on,
Mm-hmm.
and we created space for that as a family because that 9 to 5 was very toxic for them, right? And
Yeah.
it was creating an environment in the house where they were rude, mean, and everything else. So I had to talk, and I was like, babe, that job gotta go.
Yeah.
Like when you
Yeah.
not at that job, when you not with them, you way different. You the love of my life. But when you at that job, you just are icky, and you're not good to yourself, and you're not good to other, right? And then
Wait
it
a
like,
minute. Did you tell them they were icky? Because I
yeah.
feel like
Yep. I told him. I told him. That's real love right there, right?
that's
And
real love. Icky
and
is
they knew.
strong.
It is. But they knew it. They knew it.
Yeah.
They were like, "You're right. I'm stressed out. I hate it." Right? So we
Yeah.
created space for them to move on, and they were scared. I mean, they were holding on, right? Because they
Yeah.
had been at that job 8
Yeah.
years, given a lot.
Mm.
Soon as they left, opportunities start coming. Literally
Boom.
the day of.
Damn.
Bags here, bags there,
Damn.
this, that, bam,
Damn.
bam,
Yes.
all taken care of. But it
Yes.
didn't leave what they have even had room to dream it or accept it as a blessing.
Mhm.
No, right? So sometimes it's also
Yeah.
about creating space. Wealth is about creating space for more abundance to come our ways.
Oh, listen. Oh, so I'm talking about now. That's so. When I was in I'm sharing this as like a because she touched. I mean, they touched me in my special place, my heart. You know, my heart.
Yes, yes, all up in
I don't want them
here.
messing up. Don't tell your partner I'm at my special place as my heart. I'm not talking about I got touched nobody. But I don't want no drama. I be every time there's somebody on here, like Will was on here, I said I don't want no problem with Miss V. But because I could talk slick. I was in DC working, and I mean working. I had my shop, I had my ensemble, I had my contracts with the city, my commission seat, my this, my that, da, da, da. On paper, rock star, right? I was doing all the things that I said I would do. Exhausted.
Mm,
Couldn't figure out the money thing. Money was coming in, but for some reason I wasn't retaining any of it. It was just rough. Live and be outside, it was just rough. I canceled all of that, moved to New Orleans.
mm,
$0 coming in. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Was trying to get a job, nobody would hire me. And then I stood still.
mhm.
And it was like boom, 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 boom. I mean, it was like I had never been I never stopped moving enough. This is a testimonial to what you said, basically. Is I never stopped moving enough to acknowledge that there was space
Mm,
for abundance in a way that would allow me to find peace, right? It would allow me to find happiness, right? Same thing with even when I was here, the first place I rented, my parents picked, right?
mm.
Like they're gonna be here every weekend. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
so my parents picked it. So I'm like living here, got this high ass rent. I'm like, I don't want to pay this. I want to save some money. Move to Holly Grove.
Yes, shouts out to Holly
Now it's up to
Grove.
Holly Grove. It's Eagle Street right by the store. So but my son has a backyard. I've got off the street parking, which we didn't have uptown. Like it's a tiny, tiny house, but I'm saving money. I'm preparing myself to purchase a home.
Yes.
And I'm traveling. I'm eating good. We hanging out. We getting to go do bumper cars. Also, I didn't even think about the problem being that I was stifling the space.
The space to grow. Wow. Ooh,
So
that
like
touched
so,
my
so
heart space.
look right. So what Evolve is saying, like you that Creating the space. Yes, my love. I am not going to open that right now.
Shouts out to the young G.
You want to say hello? They can't see you yet. You're not far enough in. You don't want to say. I'm really not going to do that right now. That takes like scissors and all kinds of things. I don't know why they make children's toys so hard to open. All right. What's your favorite ice cream?
Rocky Road or Black Walnut?
No judgment.
You don't like the nuts
What
and the
is
chocolate?
in Rocky Road?
Marshmallows, almonds, chocolate, sometimes little chocolate pieces, all wrapped in more chocolate. Yeah. You don't like it? What's wrong with Rocky Road? I like Black Walnut too. That's my old black lady.
Black Walnut's popping here. You like an old grandma with that. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot going on with Rocky Road. That's like yeah, Lindsay said that's a lot of texture.
It is.
I feel like it is a lot of texture. And I don't know. At least you didn't say buttered almond or something.
Don't let me get fancy on y'all.
Right, don't get fancy.
With my sorbet. With my sorbets. I don't really eat dairy now, y'all, though. So I had to let go of ice cream. I'm sad about that.
So I still eat ice cream. But I was told I have to let go of dairy. Yeah. And beef.
That would be a hard one for me.
I'm sad about it.
Yeah.
I love a big fat stupid steak.
Juicy.
Oh, I love it. And I have vegan friends that can really cook. And I still be like, this is bomb. I'm gonna go get a steak.
Thank you, though. But thank you.
This was amazing.
My appetizer.
This was amazing. I'm gonna go get me a steak. I might get it to go.
I had to let go of the dairy, so it's out.
Yeah.
I was ordering some tacos today. I almost said cheese, said no cheese.
You're disciplined. Not even on tacos.
No, I'm letting it go. It just don't agree with me. And then Spirit told me to. So I feel like anytime Spirit tells you and then you don't obey, it'll be worse than a stomach ache.
Yeah. Spirit be mad at me all the time.
Me too. We argue. I'm hard-headed.
Right. They be like, for real?
Didn't we talk about this? I'm like, we did.
How are we here again? And I'm like, listen, I just needed to be sure I understood you because you be talking in breezes and leaves flying and birds and stuff.
Give me a little more clarity.
I gotta make sure I understood what you said. I know now.
Spirit be coming through.
I get it now. Spirit does come through. I tell people, having a faith practice, I don't care what it is. As long as you ain't hurting nobody. If you can find something bigger than you to believe in, it's so helpful.
Yep.
It's so helpful. It really is. Because one, it takes some of that responsibility off your shoulders.
Ashe, yes.
And if you really believe, then it's not even just taking just the responsibility, but it's also doing it. Mm-hmm. So I say, fine. If you don't have one, fine, figure out what it is for you. Just don't go, hurting nobody. No. All right. No. Where would you most know? Would you rather live for a week in the past or the future? Only a week. You gotta come back or go for it.
Future.
Totally.
Why? Man, I just want to see, are they gonna get to these flying cars or where we at? Like, I mean, is Tesla the one that's gonna create the flying car, or is
they
Apple?
Are though? They are.
I can come back and invest in one of them. Who's at the top?
I didn't think nothing about that. I was like, I'm gonna go see my grandma.
I just think
the future. What?
Yes, I think the future is so cool, right? Because I'm a believer in faith and in spirit and in God. I know I'll see my people again. So I used to, in the past, I probably would have said the past, but because I'm building this relationship with my ancestors, they feel so connected, right? the future is exciting to me. I want to be a parent one day, so it'd be cool to see my little nibbling. Like, who are they now, right?
Mm.
And just to see the world and how it's advancing. Like, I just want to see it. Like, I think it would be cool just to have. You said a week. I get a week.
A week. And also, I'm
Ooh,
going to go
that's
ahead
a
and tell you,
long
after you
time.
have the kid, that whole nibbling thing,
Oh, it's out of the. Yeah,
yeah,
it's out.
it's that cute nibbling shit is gone.
Yeah, it's like, all
They
right.
just be here.
Yeah.
Be, they just be here amazing. I mean, they just be here amazing. But that nibbling thing,
It ain't there no more, huh?
it ain't
So
there.
I'm gonna enjoy it while I can, the pre, because
Right,
I
you gonna
know during it I'm
yeah,
gonna be
in
like
preparation, yeah, nibbling away,
nibbling away at
nibbling
you.
away. 'Cause- I'm gonna tell you something. The thing that has tested me the most in life, parenting,
Mm.
because you really do not want to ruin. I'm terrified of ruining this child,
Mm.
and I think I'm doing all right. But he manages up often.
They teach you. That's what they say. They teach you a lot, right? A
He
lot about
manages.
yourself.
He might manage up daily.
When I see your post about him, they crack me up, right? I'm just like, really?
Yeah, he be checking it. And sometimes he'll be like, well, like I had my my hormones have been all over the place. I'm premature menopause.
Mm.
And so sometimes I'll be I snap off. And it's, I one day I was cussing this man out. just I was sitting beside me.
Cuss the pearls,
But
huh?
like, come on, was that polite? Told my mom I turned into a demon.
Wow. Told
He
on
was like,
you.
she turned into a demon.
Told on you, right?
I
Was that
did. I had to call
polite?
my doctor, like, y'all got to balance this out.
Right?
I'm about to hurt somebody. All right, next question. Anybody else premature menopause in this? Somebody. Look, can't do nothing. You're here. I know you're here. I didn't say anything bad about you. Tomorrow I can hear you. I'm here. Okay, what can you do today that you were not capable of a year ago?
What can I do today that I was not capable of a year ago? I would say today I can actually tell people how to make extra money from speaking. I feel like a year ago I knew what I was doing, but now that I've worked with enough of my clients,
Okay.
I feel like I can help people who want to be helped, right? Because I'm not out here just helping everybody, because some people don't
Right.
want help. That's a whole nother thing. But most people figure out their niche, their offer, and how to get some money. So that feels really good. And I think that that takes time to actually work with people. I remember dreaming about this and in my own head. And now that I have
Mm,
clients, I'm like, oh, this is how this thing works, right? Throw a problem
yeah,
at me and I'll solve it.
I like that. And it's a perfect segue into you telling us all the things we need to know about where to find you, what you got coming up, how to join your group, and so on and so forth. I'm going to give you a solo screen.
Oh, that's
Go
dope.
on.
Dope. I got my solo screen. Cool, cool, y'all. So if you are interested in speaking for profit, right, using your voice to impact the world, you can check us out at speakingforprofit.com. And that's the word speaking, the number for profit, right? .com. And there you can find our free Facebook group called Six Figure Speaking Business, where we have amazing folks. We have about 800 people in there constantly supporting one another, about 25 live trainings that I've done throughout the year to be able to support y'all. So you could check us out there. And then I would say the next thing that I'm working on right now is really being able to create this new app that we're using with LinkedIn Sales Navigator called the S4P Lead Conversion System. And that's going to be an app that you can utilize to bring in 500 to 1,000 new leads into your LinkedIn every month qualified leads for your speaking business. So that's the next thing I'm working on in 2022. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share. I always like a shameless plug, but check us out, speakingforprofit.com. If you want to follow me in any of my work, you can find me at Evolve Benton everywhere on the World Wide Web, or you can check out my book, Sir, at evolvebenton.com. Yes, dope. Everybody's filling the app. I feel it. Thank you. Thank you for filling that stuff in. You so quick with it.
Hey, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm in the street. I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be a transcriber back in the day. You almost as fast as
I
me.
was like, this is what they said. This way, y'all can't come at me and be like, you didn't pin it. It's all right here.
Yeah, check it out, y'all. And please join the free Facebook group. I think that's the greatest space to get started, right? You
Mhm.
get to see my style, how I work. You get to see some of our clients' results. And the trainings in there have helped people secure bags, right? I got
Yeah.
a message yesterday from someone who said, Evolve, I spoke to you in April. You really pumped me up, and I'm at 10K already as far as my speaking.
Good
And they're
job.
not even one of my like paid clients. We just
Good
had
job.
a cool call, and I inspired them to actually charge. They were already speaking, y'all, speaking weekly and not charging nothing but $250. So I was like, if anything, if you learn anything from this call with me today, go
Raise
up
your
on
price.
your price, right?
I feel like, let me just put that, raise your price. Because somebody going to need to see that.
Raise
Raise
your
your
prices,
price.
y'all.
Raise your
Y'all.
price.
Hyperinflation is coming. Inflation is coming. The pandemic, they did not save us, y'all. That money they gave us, they gonna get it back. And the way they're gonna do it is making everything high as ever. Your rent going up, all of it's going up. So your
Mhm.
prices should be going up, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you're doing that and doing your due diligence. Don't just like let everything around you get higher, but you don't get higher.
And
We
you're
don't
still
want to do that.
struggling. And you're struggling. And
Yep.
you can see that already in the housing market, what they're doing.
And then the
And,
gas. I'm like, what is
and
up with this gas? I'm gonna have to start walking. That's why I'm going on my walks. I can't
um,
drive.
um, I posted something just today that said I don't even check gas prices because I'm not finna walk.
Right. I've
So
been seeing that post, and I'm like, y'all, I have to admit, I probably would walk a little bit. I was
I can't. I used to walk and take the streetcar. Now I got a car. I got my truck back. I was like,
ain't doing that.
I'm not doing it. Not with this one.
Mm-mm.
Like I got to carry too much stuff.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too
I got to
much on the
carry. I got
body.
to have a scooter, snacks, toys. I
What you
love
got?
it.
What you got going on next? What's your work doing? What you doing? How can I support and elevate your work?
Oh. So I will be back in Senegal with the Senegalese Forum Theater Festival. I'm working on a project with some folks in Johannesburg, another festival. I will be bringing my ensemble work to New Orleans, which I'm excited about. Um, in the near future, I'll be teaching a class at the Boberg here in New Orleans, which will help me identify some talent for my ensemble. Yeah. I'm spending a lot of time with my kiddo.
Yes.
I'm getting to know him. I like him. He's cool. I talk trash, but he's a cool kid. And it's fun getting to know him, and I get to be, all up in his stuff, like these schools. If you're gonna trust the school with him, you also gotta, trust the school to make the mistakes schools make. So I'm constantly like on their ass, which takes a lot of time. I've been working a lot in communications. I used to do it a lot back in the day, and recently I've been getting called to do that a lot now. Um, and I'm also considering designing a concierge service for small Black businesses to, because I have a huge directory of very talented people who provide a range of services. And I'm not hugely interested in taking on a lot more clients than I have already, if I take any more. So I would like to start passing the bag around as much as I can. And I think this designing this concierge service in the way that I'm going to do it will, um, one, the people will be huge, be vetted, and it's it'll be operating under a certain amount of integrity because it's coming under my name. So I want to make sure that they're legit and they're right. Um, And then, I get paid off of booking fees as opposed to having to really go out and do work. I just place the talent with the need and make it pop.
Definitely.
Um, yeah, so I'm excited about that. I've already started working on it. And I'm applying. I can't tell you why or what I'm doing with the application, but I'm applying for a pretty competitive fellowship
Hmm.
that would allow me to do some really stellar Black liberation work. And if they hook me up, we'll be out in these streets and I'll be making a whole lot of noise. Well, somebody will be making noise. I do better with the paperwork, but
secure secure the bag and spread it widely.
yeah.
That's
So
what I hear from all of your projects. That's
yeah,
what's
that's I
really
mean
dope
that's really
about
what
it.
it is. I mean that's what I've been doing for as long as I can remember, and I like it, and not for nothing. It's my tithing. You know how they say, um, I was told you can tithe in the street, you can tithe in any way. It doesn't have to be straight to the church.
Hmm.
So this is my tithing. Whether it be like the free services that I might, I do one pro bono client per quarter, and then I tithe to my son. 10% of all of my earnings goes into an account for him, and then I consider there's gotta be some giving factor that's not mutual aid. I believe in mutual aid, and I love mutual aid, and I think mutual aid is necessary, but I also recognize that some people never get to the place where they fully understand it. So expecting people to pay back in is not always going to happen. So I have some aspect of this is a gift. You know,
I love that. I love that. That's super
it works for
beautiful.
me. It helps it makes it so when I'm having those arguments with spirit, they can be like, all right, well, she was over there giving and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, yep. But it's key, right? That's something that's key that you just mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Is the power of giving and how that
Mhm.
opens up more space and creates space for abundance, not just for you, but for the world. Like, we're not meant to hoard money or
Mm-mm.
resources. They're meant to be circulated, right? So you being intentional about that is, I think, it's really promising and dope. And I'm excited to support the work however
Uh,
I can. I know a few actors and actresses in New Orleans, so let's talk about that. And
oh, please, yeah. But let me be very
yeah.
clear about something really quick. When I talk about giving, I'm not talking about charity.
Hmm.
I don't believe in charity, and I don't believe in the power structure of charity. I don't believe that people should have to um apply and there be parameters around who's good enough and who's not good enough and who fits the requirements or whatever to get or receive help. I don't mean like that. I don't I there's an inherent like systemic bias that is
Yep.
inside of charity that I don't agree with. So when I say giving, I don't mean I might give to people who really don't deserve it. Who knows? But I don't believe that. I don't believe in that whole. You got to fill out this form and then I'm not into that. I don't
Yeah,
do
it's
things
too
like
much
that.
paperwork anyway. Shoot,
It's too
like
much, and I don't like
anybody
giving
trying to do
myself
all that.
extra work.
Anybody trying to do all that. I started during
Yeah,
COVID. During COVID, making sure I was trying to give to, and for me, it's just really whoever needs. I always know someone in need,
yeah, yeah.
right? So I might just drop a cash app when y'all just had the storm in New Orleans.
Mhm.
I had
Yeah,
hella homies who was posting things. Some people who weren't posting, but I knew they probably got hit hard, and I just went around and dropped it all
yeah.
in the
I was
cash
doing
app.
that too. Yeah, because when I got hit too, but like once I got okay, I realized there were still a lot of people who were not okay, and it
Mhm.
got weird because I feel like I actually this girl named Lolly Mariah. Do you know her?
Mm-mm.
She's I want to say she's in Tennessee, but she's dope. I'll connect you on Instagram. She started like a fund, like a tip jar is what she called it, and so like New Orleans artists like buy a cup of coffee, buy a breakfast,
Mm.
buy a this, buy that, the tip jar, and I thought that was so relevant.
Mhm.
I guess
Exactly.
it's a lot to say you're helping someone get a house, getting housing, or you're helping the, but to be honest, like, look, I can give you $20
Mhm.
and you can go make sure you got something to eat just for lunch. You know what I
Right?
mean? That's how I can extend myself, and I can do that 10 times. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
I can do that. I appreciated that, so I donated to her fund. Um, and she's a dope artist, Lolly Mariah, LOLLYMARIAH. But anyway, I can talk to you forever.
I know. Cousins.
Yeah, cousin. It's my cousin. Evolve Benton in this thing. Speaking for
What's up, Young G?
profit.com. He heard me say an hour. My favorite
like, open
person.
my toy.
No,
open my toy and give me
grown,
love, mama.
That's grown-up shoes. Leave that alone.
It's 1800 and
yes, 1800 Margaret. You don't tell my business.
It's 1800.
I love it.
It's mostly,
You see what I'm saying?
mostly 18,000.
Goodbye, boy. This is what I deal with. Like,
I'm reading it all.
Right. He's like, oh, but ain't that that good 1800 you got sitting right there? Dang. He dirty like, and we'll do that. Oh, we were in the store. Josiah does not get spankings. I just want to be very clear. He does not get spankings. I have not. I think I might have popped him once, and I felt terrible, like so bad about it. I talk a lot of shit, but he don't get no spankings. We in the store. This boy acting the ass. He gonna look up, talking about, are you gonna beat me?
Why would you say that in the store? Loud.
I was like, have I ever beat you? Have I ever beat you?
Yes.
Josiah, come here before these people believe you.
What?
When have I beat you?
I'm not even going to judge about this. Bye.
I'm not going to judge you about this. I've not beat this child. But this is stuff that make you think about it. All right. I be
Not
called all kind of
not a nibbling anymore.
Girl, when he came out almost 10 pounds, he wasn't a nibbling.
Oh, 10. Oh, 10. Oh.
Bless God, 38 hours of labor. We're done. You stay, you hang on. We're telling everybody goodbye, but you and I got some talking to do.
Yes.
Hey, it's been another Tribe Talking on a Tuesday with Maryam, and we love you. Evolve Benton right here. You got all her information in the chat. Got all their information in the chat. Link up. Link up.
Let's connect.
Okay? And we out.
And we
It takes
out.
a couple seconds. It takes a couple